Mm-mm.
Too late
Now
for
I
that.
am.
Too late for that.
It's the wrong color. You're fired.
I'm doing the black thing today. I'm doing anything but brown.
Wow.
Black is back.
Wow.
Once you go black, you never go back. Brown is such a frown.
Chimney.
Look at me all sad and turned around because I had to ride George all the way to the sorry store. Too bad there's only 3 people catching on to this one.
No, there's not 3 people. There's a big...
Not later, there won't. There'll be thousands that have
No.
watched you.
No, there never have been. There's a lag on that counter.
Oh,
See? See the lag? Anyway.
sad to say it, George is back. Look who's back. Back again. Came out of the deep freezer again. Look who's back. Look who's back. Look who's back. Who's back.
Okay, whatever that means. Oh, what kind of Mickey Mouse?
Yeah.
iPhone charger that is.
Leave my Mickey Moon iPhone. Guys, good morning and welcome to Philippine Antics Let's Talk. Okay, so that's going to be our new situation going on here. We're going to let the room build up. Thought we would come in early so you guys can like admire George being here. You guys can see he's not AI glitching or anything. He's real. Here, wave, George. Like Bernie back. See, he's not stuffed animal. No, you're not going to grow up. And would you like some music for that? Yeah, let me get you some music.
Hello, Philippine Antics. How are you doing today?
Oh my god.
Today, we're going to talk about Expat.
There you go, you can dance.
Hey, hey, hey. Your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my left side brains. I knew I wouldn't forget you, and so I went and let you blow my mind. You're my mind, your sweet moonbeam, the smell of you in every single dream I dream. I knew when we collided, you're the one I had decided who's one of my kind. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Philippine Antics on the radio? Stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight. Hey, 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 hey.
I'll sing it right.
Just in time, I'm so glad you have a one-track mind.
Okay, that's exactly why you appear once a week and you keep doing your gaming channel and keep them customers that you do them exposing yourself all over the internet situation and make the big bucks. That's great to go. All right, guys. All right, so
Panda Coco.
Panda Coco, the big Panda Cocos are back. And who do we got in the room today? There's the ones.
A big giant Panda Coco. Yeah, my uncle apparently has never tried these Panda Cocos from this
Look at the amount of
local
coconut in there.
bakery. And I said, "Do you want a Panda Coco?" Yeah, I'll have one. And then he bit into it and it's like, holy cow, these things are full. Well,
Oh,
there's no real translation from Filipino to English on what he said. But
Let me-
basically, it means that they're really packed full, and he was shocked.
Just picture me and George making love this morning.
What does that have to do with Panda Coco?
You said packed full and full of stuffing and
Oh,
We were stuffing things this morning.
I guess so.
That's kind of, hey, babe, where's another one? Here, give me another one. That, it's kind of like us this morning.
What the freak?
I'm going to picture the stuffing coming out.
What the hell?
Hey, soul sister.
Wow.
Ain't that Philippine antics on the radio? Okay.
No, these are really good though. They
Oh,
are.
sorry. You grab this.
Oh yeah.
Guess it would help. I got used to the. We thought we'd come on early and put this over here. Yeah, he went and got that this morning to go with the coffee. Oh well, we usually do this in the dark, George. When you're not here, I do everything in the dark.
Well, you have your tablet to keep you lit up, just so you know.
Just
No, yeah, you can always tell you're using your tablet. 'Cause
I was white beforehand. Look, that didn't make much difference, did
I'm
it?
talking about it makes the lighting better.
Oh, so you're saying you needed lit lighting?
No, babe. Saying I can tell
I know,
that
just
the
joking.
tablet was there because there's a glow. Anyway, I mean, I don't care. I'm just saying it actually works out. What is this?
Take it.
Well, you didn't tell me to.
Mm-hmm. That's your B12 energy pill. That way it
Oh.
wakes you up.
B12.
Dude, if I wanted to give you something shady, I'd have just put it down
Is
your
that-
guzzle this
Is that what they
morning.
call it now?
No, puppy. You're not getting in there. Will you move on?
What do you mean?
Chosen one.
You didn't tell
Sarah
me to
in
go
the
to the
house.
comments.
Tony. Jose.
Good morning, guys. Masanding nga ako mayang buntag sa tanan. How are you guys doing today? Good morning, good
Clifford's in
evening.
the house.
And again, I should work today.
What I'm saying is today I'm going to talk some smack about a guy. Smack.
Wait. Is there ever a day that Heidi doesn't talk smack? Say it.
Not really.
No, you're gonna say something.
Morning, boom, tucky all over my tucky on my butt. On the
No.
tucky.
No.
What?
Oh,
I miss
never
you?
mind. You don't miss me. You never do. Anyway.
Not really, especially when you're only a few feet away from me sleeping while I'm doing the live streams.
No, that's not it. You were gonna say something, but anyway.
You gotta remind me or mute the button.
No, I can't
I'm
mute
full of
it because
coffee.
I don't remember myself.
Oh.
But you said you were gonna say something.
Well, basically what's going on is that we're going to do a reaction on part of a video that was on Geo in the Philippines. It's been about a week and a half. Don't know how far back it is, but if you want to see the full clip, go check out Geo in the Philippines.
Hey, Gio, how you doing?
I didn't say I liked him. I just said that we're doing a reaction. You like Geo?
Yeah, I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah, we never met him, so we really can't pass a lot of judgment, But in saying that, onwards, there was a guy. Let me say in a nutshell, we got what's going on with this guy.
Ed from Queens, big day for me. Caught you at the start. Will play lotto, split winnings with you. All right.
Sweet.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I could use
And
some money.
thank you so much again for your support. Thank you guys, and again to show some support. If you're not gonna give
can you
Heidi
put the banner? Why'd the banner? Does that go down when that goes up?
What banner?
Oh, there's the banner. I didn't see it
Yeah,
a minute ago.
yeah, because it's black. Remember, we had that discussion already. I mentioned it.
I know that, but
I didn't know you actually wanted a different color.
I left it black. I was doing something different. You're always talking about the contrast thing and getting on to me. Dude, I want to get to my show.
You're the one who did the.
Okay, so
I was reading and talking when you did that, so now I don't know where I was talking about. I was just telling people to subscribe and join membership and that kind of stuff.
they're either going to be a part of membership or not. It's them missing out on it. What we're doing today is we're collecting stickers PayPal, buy me a coffee because I have immigration up and coming and it's going to cost me a lot. And I still think we're going to have to go to Manila, by the way. I don't know what it is. I could probably
Rip
get
Heidi.
no, rip them. And then I'm rip on out and going to head back to the US and live in Trump world, man. Trump world. He's going to, he's renaming the United States, right? It's called Trump world.
Hey, hey,
Going
hey,
back
hey.
to Trump world, Trump.
He
world.
put TikTok back on. Just saying.
Go check out my TikTok because I did one yesterday and I exactly said it. Don't expect me to thank a man that took it away to begin with. Just in the last few years, he's the one talking about, oh, TikTok's got to go and TikTok this and TikTok that, right? And then when that went down, they took that crap from me. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm in the Philippines. And George was like, did you uninstall from the device? It's region. And I'm like, but it's on new devices. I said, it is set. They've got our Philippine phone number. They changed that years ago. But up pops that message that Trump's working on it. You know what happened? What was it? Less than 48 hours later, it popped back up and says, you can thank your president for getting it back. It's like, oh, hell no.
But is it back, though?
Yes. Hello, I put a TikTok on there yesterday. You've been asleep.
That's not. It's kind of like, but did you die? No. I'm saying, is it back, though? I'm just trying to prove a point.
The whole thing is isn't it weird? And there's all these theories going around about that, and everybody was like, yeah, I'm not thanking a man that took it away to begin with. This was all. And by the way, the guy that owns it and the head of it, or the president, he ended up at the inauguration and all
But
that.
Trump's not the one who took away TikTok. It was the Bloomberg project. I'm joking.
I'll just blame Watergate at this point. Waterloo and Watergate.
Well, you can blame AI, but that's a different topic entirely. Anyway.
You don't find that whole thing a weird situation? Well, for any president to be wishy-washy, up and down, all about the buck, nothing's going to change with the new president.
That's like calling the kettle black.
That's like me, It's kind of like I'm gonna cover what's got to be covered out there in the expat world, even no matter what color they are. So it doesn't matter. But the fact that it popped up the first time and said the president is working on it, and then later, 48 hours later, it pops up and says you can thank Trump for it, and I'm like,
did it really?
Yes. You think I'm joking? Basically, there was
no that message I didn't see. You can thank.
Well, I'll tell you that. Okay, yeah, I kind of am out there on that.
No, I read the first one. The first one it says temporarily blah blah blah, and then
it mentioned Trump. It mentioned Trump again. It did say you can thank Trump. Yes, I believe it said almost
that
exactly.
one. But you can thank Trump. I haven't seen that one yet. So.
Thanks for your patience and support as the result of President Trump's efforts. Yes, TikTok is back on in the U.S.
So it's like me screwing up somebody's brakes and then fixing them, and then it says,
sorry, the
hey,
first one said, and it locked us out. And the reason I still can't figure that out, because again, we already had the region set. And the only thing I can think of is when we installed stuff on our new devices we got this year that maybe I didn't flip on. So it was a direct, like, how it said, do you want to be found during your whatever, they look direct location while the app is being used when it's installed, and they have the phone number for the Philippines and everything. But I think that's what happened on it, was that the new phone and the new tablet, actually we didn't have location on, which didn't make any sense because they're Philippine devices with Philippine numbers. Our original account has a Philippine number, but it was created in the US. And so who knows why, but we didn't get any access until it got back turned on. Does it really make a difference for us? No. I mean, we go over there to TikTok. We have like almost 21,000 on there. Also, we've had 20,000 for years. It was one of our bigger accounts initially a few years ago, but we just don't post as much. We go over there and have fun. But yeah, because the first message that came up was, sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted by the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you cannot use TikTok. No shit. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution. And then what? It was less than 2 days later, it was, oh, thank you. But remember, guys, it was just within the last 2 years. He says, "Yeah, down with TikTok. It's got to go." And they're this and they're that, and I'm like, man, wishy washy.
Yeah, screw you, Mr. Beast, for your clickbait.
Yeah, he said he was going to buy it, and then he didn't, did he?
No, we already knew he wasn't. We knew it was
I have
clickbait.
billionaire friends,
So
though.
screw you, Mr. Beast. Bleep you.
Oh, you're getting a little spicy there, are we?
No, I hate it when vloggers do that crap.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. He said he was going to buy it, and he had billionaire friends. But either way, the TikTok is for the young and for the old and for everybody. And it was all the fun that. 1 second, I want to show you. That's the one that I did. Let's see. Oh no! But check it out. This is going to be for the elder expat video. That's what's going to what I'm going to look like. There's your future right there, babe.
Interesting.
Which is true, because there's no such thing as a. These were supposed to be for. I figured I'd use that one for the expats, having it out with each other in the Philippines. Or I'm just going to say, you punch me in my eye. And this here is for my Red Note account.
You do realize they can't see.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I know. I'm just showing you. So,
yeah.
Anyways, so let's get into this, and then we'll go through the comments real quick.
Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Sarah Tyson, hello, Heidi and George.
I just said I was going to do that. Okay. Hold up. Okay. So I guess we'll go through some comments first then.
Okay.
You were already doing it, and then we'll go through the clip. But
hey, Sarah, hello, roomies. Gentleman says I got my beer. I'm ready to chat. That's the guy Gio interviewed. His story takes the cake.
yes.
20-minute good evening. Oh, I see, I see. It's a play on Rafi Tulfo. Roughly Tulfo,
Yes.
alias Pulandit. Say Rodriguez, hey, good. I guess good morning, Heidi and George. Hey Lou, how you doing? Hi Heidi, hi George. Good to see you. Texas is freezing today this week. Roughly Pulandit says, is it George or Max Headroom? Hey, Discerning Josh, how you doing? Hello, nice to see George back. Thought the live was at 8. I was waiting. Ed from Queen says, when is George leaving? Oh, only kidding. Love you both.
Yeah, we go somewhere between 8 and 9, and now we've just been doing all kinds of live streams. So, or I have. So George has been working and doing other things.
John Smith says, greetings from the UK. I rarely comment, but glad to see you guys still living kinda dream out there.
Yeah.
Stay blessed though. That's funny. That's cute. Like a spot. Like a spot. That's interesting. Hello.
Does
Heidi
that
and
have a
George.
meaning? Because I don't know. I mean, you recognize things that are sci-fi or something different. That's
Well, no, not
I have
necessarily.
to ask.
It's
Just
a
wondering.
play on words too.
Which is a play on.
No, nothing. It's just a play of words. It doesn't. Yeah. Um, Clifford Smallwood, Blue. I made it. It's freaking cold out here. Oh, is it? Yeah. Clifford Smallwood, our what's that? Our local bail bondsman, so to speak. No, well, not here, over there. Discerning Nash says, Heidi, what you said about the medical and life is why I'm gonna move to the Philippines. While I'm young, with less medical issues, I would could use a credit to pay. Oh, I guess a credit card for expensive surgery in the U.S. It would be too much.
Yeah.
Like a spot says, what's your all favorite coffee? I personally like mocha, like everybody does, and Heidi like.
Any coffee. There's actually, I still find even just McDonald's coffee to be the most simple that has the flavor, but it is a little different here than it is in the US. So I don't find that their premium stuff here tastes the same as it did in the US, and it's going to vary. So, all right. So if you're just getting through the hellos, let's jump into the clip, guys. And basically, what we have is a gentleman. I'll give you guys a breakdown of what the guy is, what he is, who, what, how. So the guy, when he came in 2023, was and George has not seen this clip, by the way. You guys know George has got his nose to the grindstone other places. Um, he came in 2023. He sold his business, but he met a girl on a dating app. Okay. And I guess he like either had a friend sit down and do an interview with her or got to know her with a cousin or aunt. I'm just giving it like a little bit of information, but she passed with flying colors. Of course, you can take a woman to a room and sit down with her, and she's going to pass that psychological background and everything else. There is a 27-year age gap. Okay. And basically, the guy's name is Frank, and he has a problem with or did. And a lot of these things are very common, but I want to get George's reaction on this too. So,
Oh, okay. Make sure it's.
I think I already.
She found a place before I arrived, so we'd have somewhere to go. It was a condo around that, small condo. I was paying 30,000 pesos a month for. I didn't know all these things, so I let her set it all up. And I arrived, five of her family members were there to greet me. We all went out to dinner. I paid for everyone.
Of course.
And then we went to the condo, and I had, so that's the beginning.
Okay. So he picked her up at the airport. It was a long distance relationship. He sent her the money to set up a condo in advance, a 2-bedroom condo at 30,000 pesos. Picked him up at the airport. They all went out to lunch. Of course, he paid, and then off to the condo he went. So I hear this a lot. What do you think about the guy sending money like that in advance to the Filipinas to set up a place that he met online?
It's not a good idea, but that again, there's some success stories out there, and the price is depending on the living conditions or the condo's location. It 30,000 may be too much. 30,000 may be just right.
Okay.
It.
Okay. Also, I want to let you guys know that here in the Philippines, it could be that she's got a cousin or friend that rents these. It's a good chance these prices at 20,000, and they're making a 10,000 profit on it.
Usually
or 5,000 a month.
Somebody they know.
Yeah.
Somebody,
and it's a finder's fee. So rent probably is somewhere around 20 to 25 because 30 is really high. So
like I said, depends on.
Still high. 30,000 would be high here for a condo. But anyway, so I think there's a finder fee in that.
So close by was a neighborhood that had quite a few houses in it, and then found the 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. that was half the price that I was paying for the condo, right? And so we decided to move there. Hey, so after 2 months, you guys decide to move to this new location, and that was just going to be you two, correct? That was my understanding. And then what happened on the day you moved in? Well, we moved in, and all of our family, I think about 12 family members, decided to move in with us. Well, family members. So, two bedrooms, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom house. And, right prior to moving into the house, we were going to start planning on getting married in the end of November. So that was also in the works. So we were living in the new 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom house for a short time. I said, this isn't going to work. Found the other side of the neighborhood, they had larger houses. So I found one over there, it's 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom house that was $45,000. So we all moved to that.
Okay. Now my problem is with this story is
You gotta lay down the pipe right away. I mean, you gotta lay down the rules
yeah.
before the pipe.
This is called what they nicely say, doormat. So basically, I mean, you need to, like Heidi said, you need to put your foot down. You can't just roll over. You can't be a doormat. The problem is he already had the right thing right there at in the first place. Like, hey, you know what? I rented this place for me and my wife. I put air quotes on that, but I rented this place for me and my wife, not her entire family.
Mm-hmm. And
This
all
is too small for us. You guys need to move out.
right, and plus he fit the bill for everything: food, electricity,
Correct.
any extra. So he didn't even lay
So
down the
he
restrictions.
already had the right setup. From what I'm saying is,
He thought he did.
well, no. What I meant was he already had the right setup to get rid of him. And I'm not being mean, as in like
Red
like
flags.
what do you mean? Like, yeah, exactly. It's not so much that I'm saying don't support your family or anything like that, but those are red flags because
I'd have been asking for rent, and
that's
I'd have been doing something to
that's
make him
something you
think.
have to talk about. Like, you can't just expect the guy by default to support the whole family.
I'd have been walking naked through the house. I'd have been farting everywhere.
Not even Filipinos do this.
So I'd have done something. I mean,
Actually,
sorry guys.
when a Filipino guy marries a woman and their family is kind of tagging along,
Yeah, what would a Filipino do if that
oh
happened?
no, he will get rid of them.
Hell nah. He'd be like, hit the road, Filipino.
Right.
Don't you come back, no Filipino more.
This is a case
Hit the road,
of
Phil.
a Filipino family. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because this makes Filipinos look bad. This is a
You guys make yourself look bad.
wow, wow.
I just mess with you.
No, you're not. But anyway,
We make ourselves look
being,
bad.
okay, this is why Big Man says the things he says, because it's possible that he experienced the same similar situation.
Possible, yeah.
What I'm
It's
saying
pushed to the edge.
is, be aware that this is not Philippine culture.
Yeah, no.
This is not Philippine culture. Filipinos to Filipinos, this is completely unacceptable.
Your wallet.
You
feels nice.
cannot. No. So if Filipinos do this to you, that they all of a sudden move in, no, this is not Philippine culture.
But there's more, and the messed up part is he moved, I think, 3 times.
Well,
I think he moved
that's
from the
what I
condo
said.
to another
He
place
already
to
had the
another
perfect
house.
setup to
To
get
say
rid
no.
of them, to say no.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gave him the address the next time when they all
But
went
then
outside
he
the
set
house.
himself up when he decides, yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure, let's find a bigger place for you guys. See, no. This is serious. No, this is a turning point. The reason being is because when the place was small, it's either he accepts it or declines it.
Okay.
But
all right, babe. We can talk about it all at the end. I just want you to react to each one. We still got a little bit to get through, Bill.
yeah, but I'm already on it now.
Okay.
What I'm saying, guys, this is the time when you're basically essentially not physically signing the dotted line that you accept the family or decline the family, but you are. You know, that's the only difference. You don't have paperwork in front of you. But since you or this guy says, "Okay, he this place is too small. Let me fix that."
Oh,
That meant he is taking responsibility. See, that's a problem. That's why I said. That's why I didn't want to move on right. This,
okay.
'cause this is a turning point. This is the point where it's either he accepts it or doesn't. But at this point, he accepted it.
Okay. Also, I want to let you know that 7 of the members were AI. So that's what I was laughing. I'll let you know part of the family was AI.
What the hell does that mean?
Sure, maybe they did. They were just like fake, not real. Just an imaginary. No, never mind.
Okay. Anyway.
house. Now, at this point, were you saying, were you okay with the 12 people, or were you just kind of tolerating it? Yeah, I am a man of great patience. I'm low-key and I'm quiet. People say I'm too nice, so I just was letting it play out to see how things would go now. Sure, I didn't like the fact that I was paying for everything. Not one person helped chip in for anything. And all I had was the money I saved up from working because I couldn't get my pension until the next year, 14 roughly,
You
come
have a
because
regular check.
somebody would come and somebody else would leave, and I'm like, who is this? Like, I really, that's my brother, that's my, no. And, 7 or 8 of them were children. She said they were her sister's children, some working overseas. A cousin's children, or one cousin ran away, leper child. So, she said 6 of the children are my wife's. And wow, I was in a state of shock. The whole family knew. Nobody told me. So the whole family knew when we got married. They were hollow, nobody told me. Everybody knew what was going on. So I was very shocked, upset, changed into being mad. Oh man, it wasn't a pretty situation. Did you confront her at that point and say, I went back home and, I'm not usually one who gets really mad or yells with strangers or loses my temper, but I was very mad. Then I called everybody that was downstairs. They lied to me, let me marry her without telling me she had 6 children.
So what it is he found out that 6 of the children, there were 6, she said like 8 of them, 6 of them belonged to her, including a baby that was under 6 months old. So that'll tell you at that point that there was, I mean, what do you think? There was a husband, possibly?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Um,
Probably the brother or the cousin.
Matter of fact, that's what he just said. He said the brother that was living in the house had a girlfriend. So at that point, believe it or not, that could have been her husband, possibly. In other words, she wouldn't have minded that he had a girlfriend, considering she's sleeping with him in the house and stuff. And yes, Filipino relationships can be like that. That it's a real thing if they're just being down and dirty like that. So
Um, yeah, just real quick, this is actually relevant too. Craig says, imagine what American women might have done to him. The actual wording would be not might have, what they have done to him. The reason being is he's putting up with this because he thinks he deserves it. So yes, there's a psychological background to that one. Yes.
yeah, but putting an American as so whoever he dated, he could have dated a Canadian girl when he was in the US.
No, I mean,
And maybe he wasn't even in a bad relationship to begin with. Maybe he just wasn't dating at all. A man of this age, business or not, it doesn't necessarily have all the open doors for him. So this crap did not happen just because a woman did something to him. It could be a lot of these guys, like I said before, are actually already.
I disagree. The reason being is guys don't usually retract dating not because of they don't have experience, because they had a bad experience. This is a guy who obviously retracted from dating American women or women in America, rather. They had one bad experience, not necessarily one, could be two, could be three, but they had a bad
And that could have been the
experience.
only reason. Blame the American woman.
I'm not blaming
You getting on that train
anybody.
too?
I'm saying what?
could have been anything.
Race has nothing to do with it. If somebody had a bad experience, I said in America,
Could have been
any
another
woman in
foreigner
America.
over there.
You don't get it. I'm not talking about Americans. I actually retracted. I said a woman in America. He had a bad experience with a woman in America. Because that's
Why does it have to be a bad experience?
Because he retracted. He stopped dating women over there.
How do you know that?
Because he's over here.
That's not the only reason they come.
Okay,
He got on a dating
most of the
app.
reason why they do.
If they were just flocking to him, such he's
most
such
of
a
the
good guy.
reasons why Americans that are here that don't have partners are looking for partners here.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean it was all because it's the first thing they want to blame is the American woman. Takes two to blame for it. He might have had some bad experiences here and there.
Okay. See, here's the thing. Somehow you think I'm part of this.
I didn't say that.
I clearly stated he had a bad experience. Now, bad experiences could be anything. He could be the one at complete fault, and he had a bad experience because he didn't go things his way, or a bad experience the other way because things didn't go the other woman's way, or it could be another guy
So
that
you're
he
saying
was
that
dating
the guy just laid down because of his bad experience with American women. That seems to be where you're at on this one. That's why he accepted all this. Could be he's just weak. It could just be that the man's got more like mental issues or something else going on. Who knows the reason? But you just can't blame it on just
I'm not blaming anything. I clearly stated, okay? You know what? I have no clue what your problem is. I'm very clear with my wordings. A bad experience could be anything. I clearly even said it.
You did say dating, and you
right? Yeah, dating. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
bad experience dating. Yes, and he retracted from dating American women, obviously, because he's obviously here.
Obviously, some of them try to come over and leave with their wallet or try to get over on the women, like Big Man in the Philippines. So I'm going to have to defend.
Okay.
Side of
okay.
The
So let's go into Big Man in the Philippines. Let's go into Big Man in the Philippines. Big Man in the Philippines over here because he has a ton of bad experiences in the U.S. You guys will agree with me on that one. He had a ton of bad experiences in the U.S. with American women.
Not according to him. But you said he stayed married for 40-something years to the same woman.
No. He did. Anybody in the crowd will say, yeah, he did. The reason being is because, and again, it doesn't mean that the women are at fault because clearly they're not. Clearly, there's something wrong with the guy. Sorry, big man. Clearly that, again, he thinks the world of himself and his way is the only way. What I'm saying is bad experience doesn't necessarily connote who's at fault. I never said who's at fault. Again, a good example, Big Man in the Philippines. Clearly, there's something wrong with the guy, but he has a lot of multiple bad experiences. Why? Because obviously he thinks the only way is the right way, which is his way. But to him, everybody else is wrong, and therefore they're bad experiences. I never blamed anybody. My exact words are, he had a bad experience.
Gotcha. Okay. So the guy had a bad experience. Okay. Next. Okay. And by the way, Kuya, no, you didn't start a fight. That's not a fight. We do this on air. This is just a regular discussion. So no, you didn't do nothing. But I think you're wrong. So I'll let you know that right now. So
I proceed to go upstairs and start packing because I'm leaving, okay? And they all ganged up on me and wouldn't let me take my things and leave. Wow. So, yeah, that was a crazy scene, okay? And I decided to return to try to get my things. So I go over, and everything I owned had disappeared from the house. My laptop, my passport, all my clothes, everything I owned over there, except my motorbike. So I got my motorbike and went back to his house. Yes, when I went back, my things were gone. They told me they wanted the 50,000 pesos, all my gold jewelry, my motorbike. Wow, which I refused. Yeah, and like I said, I
Yeah.
went back over to my friend's house.
50,000 is
After a
bike
couple
and his
days, and I go back to the
jewelry in
house.
order to get
I
his other things.
apologize and I say everything's okay. Can we get back to our normal lives? I'm sorry I got upset. I was very shocked at that news when I talked to her in private. Right, so I schmoozed everything over. Everything was fine. So a few days later, all my things returned. It brought it back. So, yeah, I'm still devising a plan to get the hell out of there. So I told my friend, I messaged my friend, I said, get ready. When I message you, get the guy that has the trike next door, come over and pull up in the driveway. And mine, the master bedroom is a balcony over top of the driveway. So I messaged him. He came
You
over.
turned
I
stuff
dropped my
off
2
the balcony
suitcases
and took
and my
off.
backpack over the balcony, but they're all downstairs. I was always up in the master bedroom alone by myself.
You hear
Sure.
that?
And dropped in.
So
I
he
ran out of
said
the
he was
house.
sorry.
I jumped on my scooter and the trike, and myself on the scooter
And
went back
got
to
back
his
in
house.
by his sorry.
That's how I got all my things and escaped. And so you escaped and got to your friend's house, and then what happened? I was harassed. She said she was gonna call the police and all this other stuff. She actually showed up, right? Oh yeah, very, very mad. She is a very hot.
But he
Filipino
misses
woman.
the American women
I actually
now.
went to a lawyer, okay, and they checked on my marriage paperwork. Okay, I said it was never registered. So in 1 year, while I was told by the lawyers, if you don't register it, okay, in certain marriages you have to register it yourself. In some, I was told it's automatic. Ours was we had to take the
automatic
paperwork
where?
to register it. I don't think she knew this, and was never registered. So after 1 year elapses, I'm told that's null and void. There's no marriage. So
Yeah.
that's what happened. So
So
that's how I
he
got out of
counted
that. So
on
the
her
marriage
to
was null and
register
void.
their marriage,
So
or
otherwise, he would
what
have
was
had to go back
automatic?
to the U.S. Yes, so or a moment or some other headache.
So he didn't even know. He didn't even know the rules on the marriage certificate. Do you think that was part of the scam, that she just didn't turn it in knowing she was married?
Okay. First off, I don't think that she intended to them to be married in the first place
Okay, any reason not to remove it?
because normally most Filipinos know the proper way. The only reason why, okay,
Paul says she's married.
is it possible that she's aware and she's lucid, as it were, to how paperwork or how things are done? Yes, it's possible. Um, the reason why I say I think she's aware, or I know, well, I couldn't say I know, because I really don't know. I think she's aware that she's not married to this American guy. And here's the thing, guys. Guys, pay attention. And I'm talking to you guys. You will come up, some of you, hopefully, you will never come across these type of women that will try to marry you because the marriage, I put air quotes because marriage isn't real. What I'm saying is, okay, you're like, well, why are you saying it's not real? Well, first off, the multiple kids. It's not customary for women to have several kids and not be married.
Yeah, especially that many.
Usually, the first one is an oops, because you were 16 years old. You know how it is. Your hormones are raging, that kind
Maybe
of
a
deal.
second one from an expat floating around somewhere.
Usually the first one is a kind of like a free pass. I'm not saying it is, but you know what I mean. So what I'm saying, usually, if a woman has one kid, I get it, they're not married. But after that, the community expects them to be married. So what I'm saying, usually they're already married, and you guys already know, regardless of how many TikToks you watch and YouTubes you watch, divorce still doesn't exist here. Okay,
Yep.
so therefore, ergo,
Unless you're a foreigner where you were married.
right? That's an exception, but he never said that these
You
are
can do it.
Mauritian kids, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there's no divorce in the Philippines.
correct.
Overall.
So since he didn't say that these are American kids, in all likelihood, these are other kids from other guys, and quite possibly one of them she actually married. And like the guy said, unless you finish the filing, It never happened.
Which he should know. I mean, maybe, but ignorance of the law all the way around is not acceptable either. And a lot of these guys tend to leave their paperwork in their Filipinas' hands in all manners. And quite a few of them found out they're not married in the end, anyways. We had that guy that was on Rafi Tofel. We still never brought him back in. That was from Australia, and he said the whole thing was a sham. Like the whole thing, the whole wedding part of it, the paperwork, and she had people on the inside that had issued the license and everything. So not even the license was real. So and now he's got 2 kids with her, and I got the kids. So yeah. So,
Yeah. So point being is, again, well, first off, another thing that's important to note. I don't care what country you're in. Anytime a family does that, he holds your or any person, any country, any person, any family that holds your stuff hostage, they're bad people. Period. Because they don't know what borders mean. Boundaries. They don't have boundaries. So that's a dangerous situation. Seriously. Because again, that means, okay, well, it's just stuff. Well, here's the problem, guys. People who don't have boundaries don't have boundaries, period, most of the time. And it extends past the stuff. It's kind of like, for those of you guys are familiar with anger management. Anger management, the rule is they teach you not to break things, destroy things, punch things. If you're mad, don't destroy anything. You know why? Because if you're mad and you're punching a wall, it's okay. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm punching a wall. Incorrect. You are setting yourself up in your mind to get your aggression out at any means possible. And therefore, it will come a time that wall isn't a wall anymore. It's a person. What I'm saying is, today it's his thing.
yeah, take it over to a kickboxing
Yeah.
workout
Right. So
at the
again,
mall.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like that day, it was just his stuff. The next several weeks, it could be him himself. You get my picture. It's psychological. It's, you guys don't take my word for it. You don't have to listen to me. Go do what you want. I'm just saying things lead to stuff. That's what I'm getting at. So, I mean, some of you are like, well, I think you're overreacting. No, I'm not. I'm not. Although at least he came up with an escape route, as Heidi says. I think it's pretty smart of him.
Well, no, what you didn't hear, that, like I said, that was about a half-hour interview. He ended up going to a friend's house, and then he tried to figure something out. He went back and pretended that everything was okay. He smoothed things out. Who knows if he stayed with her for a week or two, but then he set up however long of a period it was. He set up for his friend to bring a trike, and he says he stayed mostly upstairs, which, by the way, this does happen a lot. Expats tend to hide away from the families when they're out in the provinces or other places or apartments or houses or whatever. Not all of them are that interactive. And then he said he threw the stuff over the balcony and got out. But he went back and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just mad." And he went through a pretending thing, which, hey, I get that. And then he got his stuff and left. And then he found out they weren't married anyways.
Yeah. Now, just real quick, I'm gonna jump into this particular statement because I want to make things clear. Okay, because there's a lot of misconceptions. I think this is one of them. Al Rogan says, "Feeling the Philippines, living in a large group, it's culture." Yes, yes, it is culture. However, here's the caveat. Keyword caveat. There,
An
she's
agreement.
well. Not
That's
only
the start.
not only that, it's reversed. Did they move to Balibago?
Correct. There was already a house set up out
Correct.
there.
That's
and-
called, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called lumang bahay, or it's cultural only because, one, that's family land. If the
And he
people
understood what he was walking into. This guy was blindsided. He
Ro-
found out 6 of the kids were her kids. That's right off the bat wrong. And then 12 people moved in from the day they moved into their apartment
Right.
without any permission, without any discussion. That's the big difference. Culture, we understand.
Okay.
and understand people live together.
Right. And again, this is the rule, guys. And women, again, this is the rule. The family land or family compound, they call it compounds here, even if it's not a compound. The family lives in a compound. If the family moves into the compound, then you deal with the community, the family community. That's your deal because you're the one putting yourself in that bubble. Now, here's the caveat again, that bubble does not move. That bubble, again, like Philly, Brian, the bubble is not going to move to Balibago where he was. You didn't see that bubble move from Siargao to Balibago because that's not how it works. Get it? It's different. It's not the same thing. It's like, I mean, guys, it's common sense. I mean, that's family land. Your families will always welcome to come back home, but the family land is not going to go to whoever because they think it's easier that way. No, that's not how it works. So is it cultural? Yes, if you go to the family compound, not the other way around. There is a difference, guys.
And I'm going to address real quick now. Might as well get right to it, because we were just on the subject. It looks like Discerning Dash and the one who felt that he started Kuya Craig going on about, oh, the argument. That's fine. But I'm going to address Discerning Dash. Let's see. I just had the comment. I was looking for the name of the other person. I get what George is saying. I think Heidi needs to take yourself out. Most guys come there for the dating because of the bad experience with women in America. Heidi seems defensive of American women. I'm sorry, it's not, because I've been living here. I've talked to a lot of guys. It cannot be blamed that dating is so bad because of this, and that about American women when you guys got problems yourself. You guys act like you come here like a piece of gold and your wallet falls open and then all these things happen. I'm sorry. Over the years, I got tired of the one, what they find to be the one problem is the way that their American women are acting, or in Australia. It's just not American women. They blame the Australian women. They blame the women in the UK not dressing up nicely, don't have the perfume, and they put everything on these Filipino women. And then boom, they get here and these things happen. But you can't sit there and like blame and whatever. It's all of them. I stand up for all the women in the other countries where they're actually just putting blame when these guys are broken themselves. There's definitely something wrong with the guy, and I guess that's where I got a little defensive, if that's what you want to call
Well,
it. You can't just put it on women themselves.
here's the
whatever.
problem with this guy. He's the opposite.
Why is he the opposite?
You just said, and I quote you.
Well, he went into a
They
dating app.
no
and
no no
we've
no no
gone
no.
over here.
You said that these guys think they're gold and they open their wallet. This guy's the opposite. He doesn't think he's gold. That's actually what I said. I clearly stated that no, he thinks he deserves this and stuff like that.
Well, how do you think? I'm not going. So. Okay.
What I'm saying, if this guy thinks he's gold, he would have told those family to get
That has
the F
not,
out.
No. If
No, it
he
has
was just
everything
being
to do with it.
nice.
Yeah, and if you think you're gold, most people who think that they're gold aren't nice because they think they're shit.
And even those guys don't say no. There's rotten guys here, same thing. They could still make the same mistakes or have that happen to them.
Well, either way, I don't think that guy's that guy.
Okay.
I think this guy's a nice guy and he was a doormat. There's, again, I still say he's the opposite.
Okay.
And everybody in the room will say, yeah, he's a doormat.
There's a lot of doormats. Okay. I'm not disagreeing that the guy is passive and was a doormat and let things happen. Evidently, if you let that many people move in over and over again without it being an agreement, there's no disagreement on that part of it.
Right. And like I said, that, again, reinforces what I said. He's the opposite.
Okay. Not disagreeing on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Tony Manning says this guy's probably always let women walk all over him. Yeah, no, he's that kind. And
Okay.
no, no, I mean, I'm just reading again. It's no. And here's the thing: women can smell that. Women can
Not
smell that.
disagreeing with that.
Now, here's the thing with that too: women can smell that, and then that tells you whether they're what they do with that information tells you whether they're good people or not. Because again, some women will smell that, they will take advantage of you. Some women will smell that and they won't take advantage of you,
So it didn't matter
but
where he
just
was
run
at.
away.
That's what I've been saying is it doesn't matter.
And again, women can either help you. Again, some of them will say, "Hey, you know what? You're too nice. You know, you can't do this and that's." But anyway, whatever. The point being is, she scammers smell that obviously, and they take advantage of you. And that family's a scammer because again, the fact that they held this stuff hostage, they already knew what they were
And
doing.
it's the same with expats when they do this to Filipinos too. They come over here and they take advantage also of their kindness and other parts of them being, their weaknesses and passiveness. So the train goes both ways.
Chris says the standards are higher for Western women, and that's why the guys complain. They go where they have options. This guy just didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, there's that again. He's one of those. Well, dude, like actually
Well,
chose
there's a
one.
lot we won't deal with either as Western women. And that's another thing. A lot of these guys have been with multiple women, multiple problems, multiple divorces. We all are at this age. And so, yes, Western women or women around the world definitely have less tolerance. They know that the women, when they get here, are very tolerable for multiple reasons. So,
Right, and like chosen one said again that here's the thing. Chosen one says I keep telling people Philippines is not for beginners. No one believes. No, it again. You're lucky if you come up with in any country. First off, you're lucky if you come up with a good woman.
well, the guys try other places. What are some of the other places they go where they date around the world? Colombia. Where are some of the other countries? The Passport Brothers and a lot of these other guys are going to date these
Mostly the
women.
Hispanic
Russia.
countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they go to these different countries that are inexpensive. And so they're so focused on that. They're not like focused on their daily living situation. And then they just get hit by a barrage of things that actually hit them.
She says we're talking bar girls. It's cultural because they're broke.
I think the girl was married. The fact that she had a baby, he mentioned it was 4 months old when he got there. There was a 4-month-old baby. That means definitely there was possibly either another boyfriend or a husband not far behind. So,
Yeah. Chris says if you're an older guy in the Philippines, don't get married or buy anything, just rent.
I would suggest that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've heard this a lot, and I have also have a counter to it. Ask your
Mhm.
girlfriend to show Cinemar, and it should be recent. It's so cheap and easy for Filipinos to get that document at PSA.
He
Yes,
would have needed that to get married.
yes, she should have a Cinemar, but like Heidi says,
Very easy to get one.
it's easy to get a fake one to clarify.
You can get a regular one really easy too. There are some
No, I know that.
underhanded agencies that'll just outright get them for you.
Yeah.
Real
Well,
ones. It's the same in the U.S. It's the same in the U.S., guys. There's always somebody that you can pay off. It's just cheaper to do it here. So, and there would have had to been a clearance in order to get married. So everything in front of him did look up and up. He just didn't investigate more. Like I would have, I just wouldn't have let it ride to say, hey, did that get filed or not? Where's my papers? Because he'd have had to keep going in to get a visa done or consider a 13A. Hey, where's our official marriage certificate? You're telling me he didn't recognize that for a period of time? None of that was noticed?
Well, this is okay. The personality profile of this
Due
guy
diligence.
is, yeah, he didn't do any of that. He just probably says, okay, you you take care of it. I trust you. I'm pretty sure that's what he did. I don't even think he saw the cinema, to be honest with you.
He did. And it's hard to believe that guys would come all the way here and not check like part of this. But then again, he had dribbles all over his face, I guess. Dribble, dribble, dribble all over my face. Dribble, dribble.
Me says, I think if I make it to Asia someday, I'll just save some money and not get involved with the drama.
Tito George said further down, the white knight and the Captain Save-A-Ho is the Western's downfall. It is the quiver of their knees. There's a song we should make. Something like that.
Gigi says this guest is no good.
And I want to let you know, for every expat channel out there, there's 10 Filipina channels that are telling women how to hook up with Westerners. There's a ton of them out there. Way more, of course, than there are expats that say, hey, this is what's going on and, how to move here. And some of this stuff makes it look like you're eating an ice cream bar in 100-degree weather and ain't never going to melt. Things are just that perfect situation. And they buy it every time by these beautiful females telling them all this stuff. And sometimes I've seen 3 wives or 3 ex-wives or girlfriends of expats all just sit up and tell stories of how it is and tell other Filipinas how. And it's, you just got to do your due diligence.
Yeah, Robert Johnson says, agree, a lot of broken guys go to the Philippines. Victor C. Hey, Victor. Hey, George. California Bear says, now here is a fact. She was a scammer from the start. Yes, yes. The red flags were there from the get go, and he just
Well,
walked past them.
and evidently the guy would also have problems. It doesn't mean he's a bad guy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if he didn't do this, then there was something within himself that he didn't. You just can't do that. There's something up with the guy.
No, Max says dating in the Philippines can be as bad. Had Badoo, I guess that's like I've never heard of Badoo, but I guess it's an app, a dating app.
Yeah,
Downloaded
I
and
think
got
it is. I
70
think
matches.
Badu.
At the end, even if I knew about it, then anyway, if you're cool and good looking guy, you will forever be a money ticket in their eyes. There you go. Well, you don't have to be cool or good looking as long as you seem you have money.
Yeah, babe, I would wear your glasses. We had discussed this, and I said the last time you should, and you still. Are your current prescription ones? Do they need to be renewed?
No, they're fine.
Okay, you just have to.
Robert Johnson says many expats think they can get away with things they can't get away with in their home countries.
I think so too. Yes, that's another reason they come.
Yeah, Tony Man, yeah, this guy's probably always let women walk all over him.
And besides the blame on American women, Western women, UK women, whatever woman, the guys also are looking forward to a large age gap, which no matter what kind of money you got, rarely happens. I mean, you can only name a few of them in the U.S. that happens to. I know what the 1%ers, 2%ers, 10%ers that can get that large of an age gap. And I don't blame people because it makes these guys feel young. They're like getting their youth. Like this guy had what was the age gap? 27 years? That's a big age gap, George. And he said that she had a banging body and everything else. Sorry, what did, there's always a catch. There's always something. It's what they think they're actually, and I know it sounds and seems like, all those TikTok women that the P is thrown up. Even there's a video that I did covering where Filipinas and Western women are going back and forth. They did it all during that passport bro stuff. And all I know is people are broken. So stop blaming, which is true. You can't just blame the guy. You just can't blame the woman. There's problems on both sides.
Right.
Yeah, there's a 27-year age gap. And he was burning through his money. So, and he was trying to take his business money and come here and live cheap and have a woman much younger. But I'm just surprised nothing was ever mentioned. I mean, is there something he's leaving out of the story? I think there's something he's leaving out of the story. We're never going to get the full story. We're just getting the one that looks good for Gio's channel and to be able to tell the story. I just can't imagine. I mean, are we just assuming that here's the thing, did a bunch of them help him move and one or two of them asked at the same time, and then he had all of them living there at once and he just said they were all there? I don't know. Could you just imagine that they all showed up on the same day? Did he take advantage of them all helping him move stuff from one place to another and barbecues and parties and had a good time in the beginning and then it just turned on him? Not always are the expats telling the full story either, but I try to imagine all sides of possibly what could have happened. Good time, parties. A lot of the expats get here, get out there. They're having good times. They're drinking,
I
and everything
believe
seemed
him
good.
because not because of I know, like again, Heidi has a point. However, I believe him. The reason being is because the fact that the kids were mostly hers.
Yeah, she was already lying.
Correct.
Okay, they just showed up all at once the same day.
I hate to say it.
Wow. Yeah.
No, it's possible because makapal na mukha, which means they're thick skinned, which is not usually what it means. It means you have no shame. So what I'm saying is
no
the fact that she hid her kids in plain sight tells you she had no shame. And if she had no shame, there's a good chance that her family had no shame either. And the reason I'm saying this is because he said that they're there, and I'm like, well, they're probably the same way that she is. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
now,
a family that shady sticks together.
Well, remember, shame is taught. Shame is an educational thing. You have to teach shame to people. You have to be ashamed of something. Meaning, for example,
is that like being a heathen?
Should I be ashamed if I wear muddy clothes? Technically, if you think about it, no. But we're trained to be ashamed if we're wearing dirty clothes. It's a taught thing. So what I'm saying is, since it's a taught thing, in all probability, that she had no shame because her parents didn't. No, I get that. So it's a clear example of shame. That shame is a taught thing. No, don't do this because. No, don't do this because. And what I'm saying is, if she had no shame, there's a good possibility. I'm going off his side of the story because you know what I'm saying. Well, you guys get my picture. That if she has no shame, there's a good chance her parents didn't teach her shame because they didn't have any shame either.
Right. Oh, chosen one. Good, man.
Yeah, I love Western women. I just can't afford them. That's why I'm in Southeast Asia. There you go.
There you go. Hey, chosen one, we'll hook up and I'll give you some free hugs.
Now, this actually is. See, that's another thing that a lot of people don't keep forgetting. Human rights. Now, this may seem a little off, but it's actually on the dot. Now, human rights says growing up watching Disney Channel has permanently wrecked women. Okay, I know this sounds serious, right?
Yeah.
and it's currently also wrecking any culture that normalizes. Okay, some of you were like, what this freak?" Okay, now
Oh,
first
you talking
off,
about the characters and stuff?
now it depends on.
boy.
Again, I'm not going with any side here. Okay, the matriarchal or patriarchal side, but Disney shows are more matriarchal based. They always side on the female, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. However, and then this the caveat. The caveat is when you go to in Southeast Asia, the media goes on the patriarchal side. I remember when I said shame is taught. That part is taught too, meaning who should be in charge? Well, the guy is. Oh, who should be controlling the money? The woman is. These are shows. You watch these in the shows without you knowing that you're actually being taught by watching the shows. What I'm saying is the shows here are different. The shows there are different. Yada yada yada. So people are taught differently without even knowing it.
And on the other hand, I like to blame Sunday night football or Thursday night football and the NFL. And also, I want to blame the NBA, the Kardashians, and CNN
Oh my gosh, the Kardashians
for
are really guilty.
the male situation going on out there. The ones that just lay around with Cheeto dust on their face and drinking beers and that won't work and that
Hashtag free D.
exactly. So that's where I blame the situation. But on the other hand, we check out our next live stream where I'm by myself and I discuss how George can afford a white American woman in Asia. And then I'm big and fluffy, and it's like, wow, he must be a rich man. He's got a white American woman, and she's fluffy. That's why we moved here, right, Ben? So you can afford your American woman?
Yeah.
No answer on that? Just once. I mean, this is the part where you give it to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you did this morning. I can't see your face when you're smiling. Yeah, that's better. I can't see you.
Chi thinks this guy thinks Filipinos are not to blame. California Bear says scammer plus doorman equals same result. There you go. Robert Johnson says, yeah, this guy was a simp.
Well,
Hey,
he could
vlogging
just
life.
be super passive. This could have happened to any guy, but I just think, like me, it's just not in me to always lay down. Now, since I've been in Asia, I've had to. Believe me, there's probably been at least 24 times that I thought I was going to choke somebody out. I'm going to tell you that right now. But you just have to, or you have to start really thinking before you do things. And in a manner like that, the man's stuff was locked away from him. And could you imagine being in a house with that many people? And for the reasons that he said, after the fact, they went over there threatening him all the time. They went over there trying to start fights, and she was off the chain and crazy. Probably for that reason, because that didn't start overnight either. There had to be something in the household that might have shown him that. There might have been some hints, some red flags somewhere. Or do you think they were just smiling in his face 24/7? In other words, you'll see the behavior of the people living with you, and with that many people, maybe there was some fighting within the family, or there could have been all kinds of signs.
Well, like I said, when he found a bigger place for them, he kind of signed the accept button or signed it
No, I agree
without
with that.
knowing it.
But he said she was crazy in the end. They were all making threats. What I'm saying, that just didn't start overnight either. But I have been in those situations, and I'm a tough person. I'm like one of those, if you corner me, I'm like a rat. I'm going to do my business. But I do allow it to some point. And it's the same with George. You know, when he deals with people like on a daily basis, or you have your limits too, makes sense, whether it's with me or other Filipinos or back in the United States. But George is a lot more understanding. So, yeah, time to bust out.
Yeah, Tito George says a white knight and Captain Sabo is a Western's downfall. Chris says they usually go to Thailand, Philippines, and Latin America. Correct.
Yeah,
Um,
there's quite a few
Robert
on
Johnson
this.
says Thailand is a big one for them. Oh,
Yeah, and I wouldn't call it a shortcut. Okay, because like you'll hear other Western women say, "Oh, it's a shortcut," and it's because they broke and because this and that. There's a mix of reasons that they do, but like I've always said, and you don't always hear it, is that you have to get yourself in check and get prepared. It's not for the weak at heart or the ones that can't stand up. You got to be strong to leave your country and start doing all those things. And like this instance, he should have just put his foot down. I mean, it's not like Brian, Philly out there. He knew that, and you can expect, we've been telling people for years, expect that if you get your household and that you're living there, there could be other family members that are always staying the night there. David Campbell. Remember how many times David was like, "Oh, they're eating my food and they're coming over here and doing this and they're always here and that's to be expected. It's at some point you should at least expect that type of thing. People staying the night all the time, that there is a big connection with the families. So
yeah. Jose says standards are higher for Western women. Delusional, yes. Um, yeah. I mean, no, most maybe, but they don't even smile at you here. They have such a nasty look on them. I'm living here. I see it all. Now,
there isn't, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
there isn't what.
I was just going to say is that I would agree that there is also 100% a new generational issue going on. Like we have our son that's in his upper 30s when he was out there dating before he got married. Same thing. We've heard all of his complaints about dating women there. And so, yeah, you're probably not. That's the first thing guys say here, which is a bonus. I'm not saying there's not bonuses for coming over here. Not saying any of that, but yeah, they say the women smile at you, but you also can't take a smile for,
No, no, no. It doesn't mean they smile at you. They want you.
that's what that one guy said that
Heck
said he
no.
had 8
Heck
girlfriends.
no.
He says they just smile at you. That means they're ready to go. And I'm like, okay, not
No.
always, but
No. They're just being nice.
yeah.
Actually,
Sure.
that's what I was gonna get at. Some of you will probably get mad at me again, guys. I mean, most Filipinos again would rather date their kind. But the problem I have is when I see the couples, aka expat Philippine couples. Now it's irrelevant who is the expat and who's the Filipino or Filipina. That's irrelevant. But point being, the most, even Heidi's seen this. Most of the time when we're out and we see an expat couple, the problem I have with their interactions is the lack of interaction.
Mhm.
They just sit there and they don't even talk.
Well, that happens with us sometimes, but
Nah, well, what I'm saying is, I'm talking
no,
about,
that's true. Yeah, there's a lot
you
of
know,
things.
what I'm saying is, if your Filipinos like that, then there might be a problem. Or Filipino might, if
I think it's frustrating for expats, and it's frustrating for me that there's something that Filipinos and Filipinas have. And I wouldn't remember I said that it seems like they're all insensitive or quiet or passive. I think Filipinos have a level of passiveness all the way around, like whether it's to the standards of restaurants, things being out of stock, being cut off in traffic, ditching each other in line. It seems like there's a lot of it's okay situation going on. But I also think also Filipinas themselves are just super quiet. So I just think they don't maybe communicate as well with the slight language barrier with the expats. I have heard several over and over again say that there is a communication barrier. And the first thing that's going to break a marriage and break down your dating is the lack of communication. You guys just can't screw each other's brains out like a rabbit,
yeah,
and then that fixes
there's
everything.
that only goes so far.
Right.
Yes.
So they're excited about that. They're excited that you made your bacon in the morning and all that. We all go through that no matter what country. We go through this love phase, love bombing each other and all this. But then you get to the point where you're actually living with them day in and day out, especially in retirement. And then this Filipina or Filipino has a different idea of how to live. You start to go through things. And then you're in another country and you're dealing with people on the outside and all of these other things. And it's recipe for disaster. But man, 12 people, and then
Yeah.
6 of them were kids. Ugh.
Now, some of you will say, well, language is an issue, right? I get it. But it's, you don't have to know somebody's language to give them attention. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yep.
I see body language. I see how certain Filipinas or Filipinos treat their expats, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out who loves who and who doesn't. And
Are you talking about like they were like?
small gestures, just small gestures. Like for example, getting them their fork and spoon when they're in a restaurant, that kind of deal. Getting them, they get up
I would
and
do that for my dad.
like they brush their hair occasionally, that kind of deal. Rub their back occasionally. There's little
Yeah.
telltale signs of love versus just
Where
sitting
they're
there. Now, when I said interaction, remember interaction doesn't just involve vocal; it includes somatic. So when I said there's no interaction, they don't even move. They just sit there.
reminds me of my grandparents.
So
They were in their 80s, and
that's another problem a lot of
82
people
and like
misunderstand. They think
92.
interaction is just vocal. No. That's how I can tell whether there's love in the relationship or not.
So it's not like me and you at Jolly Bees where we're just sitting there like this, and then you go and run and get a napkin.
Well, at least that's interaction still.
That's true.
That's still interaction.
Yeah, I got some interaction for
Yeah.
you later.
So that's what I'm saying.
How's that pill kicking in?
Right? Yeah.
Let's see. I was going to put George up to talk about that Dexel and Jim or whatever. And I was like, I don't even have the strength. So it'll probably be me covering it this week because it came up in my feed again. And he's become a popular topic. But I'm like, first off, why does he always go without a shirt? Like almost every other video, he has no shirt on.
Well, most vloggers, for some strange reason, they feel like
Not the American ones. This guy. But then I found out.
A lot of them
well,
do
hold
that.
up. He takes testosterone and he shows himself in the gym all the time. So this is him trying to show that it's working. So I said, yeah, I may have to cover this whole guy's life to see what's up. See what kind of life lesson we can throw the expats here.
hopefully it's not the Chinese one.
Oh, yeah, I'm done with that.
No, I'm
That-
talking about the Chinese testosterone. I'm not talking about
Oh, that's on him.
yeah.
So
Yeah, don't use the Chinese testosterone, guys, for your health wise.
anyway, so it'll be interesting. So maybe I'll cover that later in this week when it's, or if I'm just bored while George is napping or working, it's, wonder what's up with Dex.
Yeah, now Vlogging Life says you can get a great woman anywhere,
Mhm.
but you have to be decent at
Yeah.
least.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, to get what you pull in. Right.
And that's where I'm at on this whole thing is it's bugged me since I've entered the country because a few years ago they were really harsh during that Passport Brothers. It's like, yeah, the women want this and they want that and they want all their money and they're overweight and they stink. And I'm like, dude, this is going on with you guys too. And it's like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It did get really bad there for a while in the passport. And I'm like, it just wasn't down to the American women. It was down to all the women being blamed, everybody except for that we're here in Asia. And I'm like, but you guys do realize problems happen everywhere. You got to get yourself right. You got to get yourself right, whether it's me, whether it's you coming, and you got to get living right when you get here, period. Everything. Rentals, savings, cards, banking, everything, guys.
Dana Jones says 3 buddies of mine, after they got their second divorce from Western women here in America, they settled in the Philippines for a new life.
Makes sense. That's most of them already have been through at least 1 or 2 marriages. So
Ed from Queens says Dominican Republic, huge marriage hub, 90% ends bad. Well,
yeah, that Dominican Republic was another one. Yeah.
yeah,
Russia.
that's a different story entirely. I don't mean it as in that's a vlog on its own. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
But most of these guys, and like me, when I met George, I'd already been through that many divorces. I think a lot of these guys have been through that. And I think they want to try something different. But I'm going to guarantee if I take 3 or 4 of these expats that have channels that I can clearly see what's going on with their lives, you'll find that they've been married several times. And you're going to find that also it was dealing with finances. Like they knew they could come here and live cheaper. They're lying if that wasn't another reason. So you get cheap things, you get a cheap wife. Just kidding.
Dang.
Sorry. Let me rephrase that, Gio. That Gio. And that you think your life's going to change, and then everything you've been preaching is actually happening to themselves and stuff. So it's the same thing. It's like, it is.
Yeah.
That's what George thought.
I told it. Tony says
Hey, Joker.
he was just too excited to get the kitty. There you go.
He was
True
trying to
story.
get
Right.
He was trying
Yep.
to get
Slick
that
Rick
kitty.
says they're in a big rush.
Did you say hi to the Joker? He was up.
Yeah, he
Hey,
says Merry
Joker.
Christmas,
Merry
yeah.
Christmas. Yeah, that's a sign. Merry Christmas, Slick Rick.
Dana Jones says, I was talking to a friend of mine. One of the main differences between Thailand and the Philippines, Philippine women play the long game. Unlike Thailand women, they want out front. Which, now, the thing is about that is at least you know what you're dealing with.
Kind of like me, I laid the cards on the table. Like
You know, it
3
won't
days in.
blindside you. No, this is a real thing. Like Dana Jones says, yeah, most of the time they just what do you call it? Like they'll tell you up front, well, I'm talking to these other Westerners, or and then you're just here and
Which brings me around to something, and you're about to probably get offended on this. It's something that I am seeing also. You tend to be very, very, very private, and you don't put that type of stuff out. And do you think just Filipinas or just in general, just super private and playing that slow game? I don't think it's even a slow game. I just think it's the way the Filipinos are.
no.
In other words, they don't reveal unless they really have to. What is it you say? How is it you put it? You
You're-
omit. You just don't say it. In other
Yeah,
words, if
you're
you're
not
never
lying
asked, if you don't
if you're
say it.
admitting.
I think a lot of Filipinos are doing that. If I don't outright ask,
That's
they're just
why
not
I keep
going to say.
telling you guys, ask.
Because Filipinos, that's what I mean. So I feel that it's something within.
Don't assume. Always ask.
Because if you don't ask, they're just not going to say. And it's the one
is there
culture.
a chance that they're gonna lie to you? Of course, everybody lies, but
But
they have a lower probability of
just saying, like me, like within the first few dates me and George had, he knew about everything. Like I'm talking about, like I was like, that way he knew every bit of my life. I didn't hold anything back, and I'm saying this is what's going on, and we talked about our life, but I got little to nothing out of George. Hey, you want to get another beer? Okay, so you just, in other words, I think the Filipinas and Filipinos are the same way. And I find that they're kind of quiet too, so they're just not going to. They're focused on today, and there's nothing wrong with living. What is it you say? Living for the day, seize the day.
Carpe diem.
I was going to say Spartacus. Get a
Carpe
beer.
diem.
Right. And you know what? I was thinking about that this morning, because I know, weird for me, I'm always thinking way down the road. I'm about 1 year in advance in my mind, making plans and stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm doing much better living one day at a time, not worrying about things like, okay, like what's for lunch and that type of situation. I'm so used to planning things, but I think Filipinos are the same, like I just want to get by today. So much so they do those individual packets of laundry detergent, and they're just like literally trying to live one day at a time. So, but I find them to be somewhat private. It's hard to get information out of them.
Well, Mexicans do the same thing.
Oh, I can get information out of a Mexican.
No, I'm talking about they live by the day. They, some of them don't even have fridges, that kind of thing.
Speaking of which, I want to let you guys know that I did get the deep freezer, and I don't think George will fit in there unless I also order a chainsaw. By the way, chainsaw's on its way.
The dog will fit in there if it's empty, put it that way. Our puppy will fit in there if the freezer's empty.
Willie, too. We could probably fit all the
Willie
pets
will
in
never
there.
fit in that.
But yeah, sure he will.
Not complete.
I put him in there yesterday.
Yeah, not complete. No, that's a lie, because he won't fit in there alive. No.
I did put him in there to check. Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. I I couldn't get you to get up, so
Anyway.
you just wonder why it smelled like dog in there. No, it's actually we got a deep freezer to put our fruits and stuff for the smoothies and to put extra ice cubes and everything. I would probably say the deep freezer is the size of a little bit bigger than our upper
It's
freezer.
slightly bigger than 3 shoe boxes.
It's the size of our freezer space. It's like getting an extra freezer without the fridge.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the big shoe boxes, they're slightly bigger than that.
Yeah, and it's a fraction of the cost. Like we could have
But-
got a medium-sized
But
refrigerator for
remember,
20,000
this is
pesos.
intentional because if you get a deep freezer, you guys, those who have deep freezers know that they have stuff in there
I
they
would-
haven't touched since.
For 3 years.
Yeah,
and
correct.
I can't do that. So basically, like George said, I should put like all like the meats and the different things. And we do like chicken, but most of our stuff is vegetables and fruit. And that way, if I make one order from Landers or somewhere, or I go out to the market every week, then I can cut the fruits and vegetables, and they'll be in small baggies, and I can reach it. The problem is the size of it is. We would have to get some oversized table that's strong enough to hold it because it's what's it go to your waist or something. Anyways, it's cute though, so I'm kind of happy.
Chosen one
Make you a
says
smoothie.
that's not true at all. They both want the money up front. He's talking about the women. Again, keep in mind that again, not everybody's the same. I know we're just overgeneralizing here. Yes.
I think we all tend to put blame on each other, and it all goes back and forth. And I've been saying it as we're all human, and people are people. They're just bad people. They're good people, and you can't generalize and say everybody from Sweden are all good and kind and got money and all this and that. And then you get there and you have all these bad experiences, and then you get 4 YouTube videos from that person saying it was just horrible.
Well, now Lou again says use or
hey.
be used. Sums it up in the Philippines, but remember, this guy is a doormat. Not
He was probably a doormat, like you said, in the U.S. That I would agree on, but the thing about the
no, here once you get again, like one of those, like I said, the what's that? The word I'm looking for, I guess they kind of test you. Remember, scammers test you to see if you agree to it or not. Again, he signed the agreement. He says, "Yep, I'm a sucker.
yeah, he sent her the money in advance to get the first
I'm a
place.
sucker." He signed
The
it.
family showed up at the airport, a bunch of them. So, like you said, of course he paid for lunch. I'd have done the same because what are you supposed to say when everybody comes to
Well,
greet you?
it's
You look
one
stupid
thing
you're
if
not.
they greeted you, but it's another for them to live with you
I know, but what I'm saying
without
is,
an agreement.
I get that, but it's
Yeah.
one thing at a time. You go to the lunch, and it just kept going from there.
Yeah, and like Tony says, the main problem is she lied to him. She had 6 kids, correct?
Oh yes, that is
Yeah,
the problem.
and Chosen One says 6 kids is diabolical, correct?
Yes, it is. And
No.
one of them was just 6 months old. So remember, they had an online relationship for a while. That's the crazy part. That's what's blowing my mind. He mentioned it a few times. She has a young baby when I arrived, and I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, Chris says weird guys from the west and desperate girls from the east. There are going to be many failed relationship with that combo. True.
Yeah.
Oh dang, Tony!
Tony,
bet that kitty was loose. Lost young, yeah, lost young,
hey,
lost young.
Tony, just for you, our next live opening when George comes back, I'm gonna make a song called "I Bet That Kitty Was Loose."
It's like a flashlight in the hallway, guys. It's like a flashlight in the hallway.
Here we go. I bet that kitty was loose. What do you think?
Dang.
We are,
Whoa.
or he might be staring at you from the other room, just like the Thornton widow bride. Oh my God, we never even made that song about baby Thornton staring at people. Could you guys imagine trying to hit that and then have baby Thornton in the other room, just like, it's like, dang, you look like your dad. I remember when he used to vlog. Right back.
You're right. Paul says, yeah,
Thanks.
6-month-old baby. Yep.
Ugh.
Hey Tim, how you doing? Good morning, antics from Columbus, Ohio.
guys, is in the house, and as we understand, it is freezing in the United States
Yeah.
in most places.
Hope you feel better there, Joker. I know. Al Rogan says he broke the dating rules. Cohabitation with someone he just met. Slow down, buddy. Well, I'd hate to say this.
He moved in right away, straight from the airport. There, we told you
this
guys
is a
that years
common
ago.
thing, though.
Very common. They're skipping over things, and we said, dude, start your slow roll. Okay,
It
so
should be okay. It should honestly, it should be a lot like the West, because it's not like the Philippines do this. What I'm saying is, guys, you think Filipinos when they date somebody they're gonna marry them and then they're gonna move in? No,
well,
no.
let me tell you. Let me tell you how it needs to go, and we'll see if this is George approved. Here, bring this down so I can see your face, so people can see your reaction. So, what you guys got to do is you come here. You make sure you have your savings. Come here a couple different times before you move here, but come here for I don't know 2-3 months and get yourself an Airbnb. Okay, and then if you're coming here to stay and you guys are really taking a shortcut, then you can get your rental from there. But wait a few years before you actually marry, get a girlfriend, any of it. Most guys break that. I probably say 80% almost get a woman within a few months. They move in with them and they do. Does it work? Yeah, sometimes it does.
Sometimes.
Uh, just do the hand plan, man. I mean,
Well, like even Filipinos don't do that. What makes you think you're an exception?
you're in a strange country. You have to staying in a hotel is not going to help. If you go into an Airbnb, at least you're in a what I would call a regular neighborhood where you can start looking for rentals and stuff.
Well, at least if you're in an Airbnb, you can just leave.
Right? And some guys just live out of Airbnbs. Don't blame them on that. That was a regular guy thing. But guys get here and they try to implement everything, and the guys take a shortcut. So get the hands plan, get you an Airbnb, come here several times, but get your savings together. Do you agree on the hand plan?
Right?
No?
No, I mean, well, it doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you're not thirsty. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean,
Dana Jones says expat be meeting ladies in the wrong places. Dating a bar girl isn't a future for a healthy relationship or a marriage shop.
human rights. Seems like Heidi has a lot of Western male hate, even victim blaming the guys earlier. What did I say on victim blaming? Remind me. No, it's not. Probably no more than you guys. It's a discussion that's not hating on the males. We're saying that both people are at fault. Victim blaming. Oh, why? Because he's the victim. He's the victim of what he allowed and all that. So that's the victim blaming they're talking about because he was the victim of the girl, and then I'm blaming him for, what had happened. No. So, nope, not really. If I say I hate somebody, I'm just going to say I hate somebody. So, next.
Chris says
I hate all
also
kinds of people. I hate all kinds of expats and men and women, and I just don't like people, period. So, I don't like people. So.
yeah, Max. Actually, that's what I just said. As long as you're not thirsty, Max says having no access to females really makes expats dumb,
Yeah.
and then they come to this country and go crazy. Yeah,
And a lot of them had not dated in a while, and a lot of the guys have been in bad marriages, like a
like I
lot of
said,
people.
they're thirsty. Yeah.
Yeah. And then some of them have not had any in a long time. So if they're leaving a marriage where it happens 3 times a year, like a lot of marriages, then of course they're double thirsty.
It's like, okay, guys, there's this rule that I know a lot of people don't follow it. You don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
It's a true story.
It's the same thing. You don't date when you're thirsty.
How many times have we said that when we both arrived at Walmart or something or Target and we're like starved? We had either been working
Forget
for
Walmart.
hours.
Forget Target. We do it here.
We do. We tend to go to SM or the mall, and it's like, yeah, we better do lunch first before we do any other
Yeah,
stuff.
you never go grocery shopping when you're hungry. You never go dating when you're thirsty.
That would probably explain on some of the times we went into the malls and didn't eat before we left. And we were going to do lunch, and next thing you know, we've stopped at every booth and picked up different
Yeah,
items.
and
We
you
end up
have
with 10 items, and
yeah.
we're eating on it for days at the house. Or like,
Correct.
man, that looks good. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Crispy says also these guys think the women are innocent angels that are just waiting for you. People are people still. You have to get to really know them and willing to walk away if it isn't working. Correct.
Hey, we can always do a song for you called George the Gigolo.
George
I'm
the
just
Gigolo.
a gigolo everywhere I go. I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares for me. No, do you remember that song? I'm just a gigolo.
Yeah, of course. Who
Van
doesn't know
Halen.
that?
Yeah. Well, it's hard saying.
Chosen One says the
George
guy's
the Gigolo.
oblivious. I'm giving him a free pass. He doesn't know how the real world works.
I would say that if he was in his mid-20s or something. I think where you guys are mistaken is that I hate males. I just hate idiots or ones that mess up or doesn't see it coming. Have I messed up several times? Sure, sure. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And I think you're always going to have where the guys side with the guys, girls side with the side, and then people just see what's going on. No way I would have dealt with that over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to see it coming. We don't really know how long he lived like that and why he wouldn't. I mean, he moved several times, baby. He should have stopped at some point. He just had no ability to say no to a group of them. There had to be other things going on. There had to be some red flags. That's why I
Well,
say something.
he was already in deep, as they say here in the Philippines. May pasubo ya. He was in deep. And he didn't know how to get out of it. Max says,
Oh, he had no backbone.
get a Brazilian girl, thank me later. Now, Lou, remember when I said they test you? Scammers test you. Actually, Lou could have never said it better. Lou says, do you learn? Starts with $20.
Mm.
See, when they ask for that $20, that's when you say no. Because when you say yes, then it goes to 100, and then you say yes to that, then 200, and then 300, and it never ends. Correct. This is a scammer way. Yes.
And they tend to, I don't know if it's other countries, they're really slow playing some people. Like someone's like, oh, but I was in it for a few years, and then all of a sudden it's like, dude, some of them have multiple guys on the hook. They can do slow play for a year or so. They got money coming in other places.
Yeah.
And
And
slow play and get $20 here, $10 here, and then all of a sudden something serious goes on.
Chosen One says dating a Filipino has unforeseen challenges for sure. I'm just being honest.
Just a chosen one, no questions, just yes. Dump her. Or maybe she meant Jose or no way, or maybe she meant
Yeah,
dump
no,
her.
that's Jose. Just dump her, Jose. Yeah,
Uh,
because he has an apostrophe on the end. Um, Al Rogan says people all over the world enjoy the same flaws and I guess you mean imperfections. You just need one good girl. There you go.
I think we're going to bring in another booster because every time a comment, doesn't matter if they were little or not, you can't see you with your hat all the way down. It's tilted all the way down. So we're going to have to get you a second booster.
Well,
George has long legs.
You just lower the camera. There's a lot of.
Okay.
There's a lot of negative space.
It doesn't help all the rest of the things.
No. Okay. Now Joe Boyd says this guy has a gift of hospitality. Lou says, okay. See, the problem I have with this statement again, it's overgeneralizing and it's kind of wrong. Never overgeneralize, especially when it comes to this. Are Filipinos embarrassed of their own children? Meaning again, Filipinas. It means are all Filipinos. Basically, what he's saying, but that's not what he meant. This scenario is typical where the Filipinos' children are her sisters or niece. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, no, course not. No proper woman in their right mind are ashamed of their children ever in any culture.
Well,
There is no
well,
culture that they're ashamed of their children.
unless you're taught that.
They're ashamed of their children because they know they're doing something wrong.
Oh, is that like the time I got an extra tax return on one of the kids, and I was ashamed that I collected that tax return, and then I was just ashamed of them.
That's not really what happened. But anyway, point being is again like this happens a lot that a lot of Filipinos do hide. Now, when I say hide, they most of the time a lot of Filipinos work in the city and then the families in the province and they send their children in the province
To be watched by
to
the
be watched by family. Now, this is twofold. One, most jobs won't hire a Filipina if she has children. No,
They
really,
do
I'm not
ask
making
that,
that
and
up.
they're allowed to
I'm
ask
not
it
making
too.
that up.
Yep.
That is, you guys can walk around town and look for wanted posters. You will see all the time. If you have children, they will not hire you because they know
Over the
that
age
children
of
get sick.
25 and
Children
30,
have
you'll
to be
get you
picked up
the
at school. So they
So-
don't want the business owners don't want that
rules
hassle.
are different. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So
And the other part of it is yeah, whether it's an expat or another Filipino they're going to date, they also will just have the ability to not mention. And here's the thing, I can almost bet on it. I can almost bet on it that he never asked her, George. In other words, he may never once during that relationship while he was there and staring at those kids, hey, do you have any kids? There's a good chance he never thought of asking her because he said she had a great body, skinny. A lot of Filipinos, women too, but especially with the Filipinos, their bodies
no, it's
bounce back. He
possible he
never
didn't
thought of
ask and he assumed that he would, but in all likelihood, she probably wasn't going to tell him anyway.
in all likelihood. She just felt have to say anything. That would have been you. If I probably didn't ask you, I mean, I get they didn't live with us and that, but I bet if I never asked you about how many kids you had or anything, you think you just would have told me and just eating on your French fries at the bowling alley, you just would have said, "Hey, by the way, I have X amount of kids that are adults and grown up and all that." If we were just talking,
That's
I get it's different. I'm just saying in general.
and not to
If you're not
mention the
asked.
bowling alley was kind of like we just met. So.
We went to the bowling alley many times. I didn't say what time you were munching on the French fries. I'm just giving a scenario. I didn't say from the beginning.
Okay. Well,
More than likely, he also didn't ask her.
Ed from Queens says the guy has zero experience. How can he not tell she had 6 kids? Women bodies changes. Well,
He said she had a banging body. Gio was like, yeah. So it must have been, yeah. A lot of these Filipinas really bounce back.
no. I mean, no. Some of them you really can't tell.
I look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Even in the
crack.
U.S., there's a few Western women that had kids and you can't tell.
Mm.
Yeah, so she
Yeah,
could be one of
Filipinas.
those blessed ones that
There's a lot of blessed ones.
some
there,
some of them are pregnant, full pregnancy, and they don't look pregnant. They look
Mhm.
skinny, and
It's because I think they're already skinny, and with the
You know what I'm
lack
saying?
of food in some of the families here, there's a big percentage that there's a big lack of food. Then yeah, they would just stay on
I'm
the
talking
skinny
about
side.
even in the U.S.
Oh well, yeah.
There's women that never look pregnant. They pop it out, and then it's like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens.
And he says the guy has
Thank
little
you for the
experience.
stickers.
How can he not tell she has 6 kids? Oh, it's the same one.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. We
Thank you so much,
appreciate it.
Ed. Appreciate it. No, but well, 6 kids. It's
Yeah, I mean, how? I mean,
at 6 kids. I guess he still won't fall in. I mean, just saying.
maybe not.
I mean, a loose kitty is still probably. There's a chance it's the only kitty he's ever had,
Could be.
so he couldn't tell the difference.
And maybe he dated a really big woman that was loose or a small woman that was loose in the West.
Hot dog in the hallway, folks. Hot dog in the hallway.
It
Hot
could be
dogs. Hot dogs in the hallway. What?
Well, then, good thing that you're the hallway.
Oh, dang.
No, I'm saying you're not like the average Filipino. We've said that in more than one way because I had two drunk drivers here last week while you were upstairs, and
Oh,
I had to pay to see if what you said was true.
oh, okay,
Cost me
cool.
100 pesos to see. I'm gonna start taking your hat from you. Is that the
What are you doing? That's my forehead, or past my forehead.
well? I'm
Um.
tired of not seeing your face.
Oh wait, yeah, that was where I was.
And thank you for contributing to my delinquency and to pay for George's funeral funds and the chainsaw and my up and coming immigration.
Yeah, Chris says make sure you understand the culture and like it before being a country to pursue a woman. It's not just. It can't be just that the woman is attractive. Well, that's never just a good criteria. Period. Joe
True.
says. Joe says some Western guy said online there's no such thing as living far away from Filipinos family. 6,000 islands, pick one, and no family members. Simple.
They do tend to do that too.
No, no, no. I mean, yeah. Chosen one says 85% of communication is nonverbal, not needed. Some way Filipinos and Koreans date. No, no, no. Like I said, when I said interaction, I'm not just talking about verbal. I'm talking about they don't even move. They don't even do anything. Again, you can sign language, body language, love signs. I guess that's the best word. There's love signs, you know, that they show affection towards each other. They don't have to speak. Chris says, I agree, George. If someone likes someone, they light up, and when they're around, they just don't go through the motions. Right? They look like dead people. They just like robots or something.
Yeah, the AI family I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That like AI robot of a sort is what I was mentioning earlier.
Jose
And
says my girl keeps showing too much affection to me to the point where it actually sometimes irritates me, but I'm cool with it.
almost an overkill sometimes. It's the opposite with George. Some days he's where I have to say stop, and it's true. George will run up on me and giving me hugs like right in the middle of cleaning or something, and I'm like, not right now, George. How many times a day do you get not right now?
Right?
And then, so it's and there's
DMB,
other
that
days.
that is really late of you. How you doing?
Hey, yeah,
Hello, Filipino Squad. I'm super late, so I'll just have to rewatch this live when it ends.
yeah. We came on a little early and did our little bantering thing back and forth, and then got into the footage and an argument and all that. And it's good to have George back.
Black Grandpa says, "Hey, the dynamic duo are back together." Shout out from Brampton, Canada.
Yes. Hey, Black Grandpa. Tuesdays, guys. It's the one day that he has off where he's up at a decent hour and he gets sleep the night before. So it'd be Monday in the United States, somewhere between, we either do it 8 or 9, but usually it's 9 a.m. On Tuesday, but then Monday would be 7, 8 o'clock at night. So give or take on, yeah, Monday in the United States. And that just goes from there, different countries. But yeah, and plus, you're still editing your Ricky video.
Yeah.
Is
Um,
okay, so it's not in the cloud.
what's that?
And depending Dominican Republic, the other 10% never found
Oh,
DR.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dominican. Yeah. Um, interesting. Jose says, Heidi, you're right. There are guys that are look funny talking about women. Meanwhile, they need to look in the mirrors themselves. Me, I keep up with myself, so
So
yes, I
yes,
consider, yeah.
consider. You have to. I mean, it's. I don't know. I know my faults. I try to admit my faults. I know I'm not perfect, and some guys won't just accept that in no manner. It's like, I know that I'm broke here. I know I have issues up and coming in my own medical. I'm looking down the line at becoming an elder expat and other issues I have to deal with. But some guys are just in total denial. All they care about is their back rub and their next street food and their crotch rub and how they say they're saving money, and really some of them are living in a broke down situation, but they're just like, you have to just like own it and stuff. Stop the blame games all the way around. Victim blaming. Sometimes the victim should be blamed. You guys can get offended all you want on that, because sometimes there are reasons that had come up to that point and that they had, victims themselves sometimes cause their own issues. But you can't say the victims can. In other words, they put themselves in a situation to possibly, let's say, become homeless. I get, whether they quit a job trying to.
It
There's a whole
depends on the situation.
correct. That
There
might
are
have come to.
things that you can blame the victim, and there are times you can't. For instance, in this instance, you can only because, and I clearly stated this, the moment he kind of says, "Okay, let's move to a bigger place," that's when he accepted responsibility of the family without knowing it. He didn't realize by doing so he actually is taking responsibility of that family.
Well, that, or instead of giving this woman he had never met and wasn't even married to, he didn't come here and marry her down the road and then send her money off to get a place and then return back to see her. No, dating app, sold his business, came over and took the shortcut. He should have came over here and got a place. And we've told guys, come over and go to a hotel all by yourself. Take yourself to that hotel by yourself if possible and start from there, even if you are dating somebody online. But we've said there's guys that have been jumped from straight from the airport.
That's what I mean. Well, like I said, he had his chance to get rid of him, but he decided to
He should have got his own place.
unwittingly taking responsibility for them.
He should have got his own
Yeah.
place, and by sending her money in advance,
Well,
and
that's the thing.
that probably means he sent her money.
They did get. Oh no, he should have gotten his own place before he took her in.
Right.
Correct.
Correct. He came straight
No,
from
no,
the
no, no, no.
airport to the restaurant to
No,
the
I
place
agree.
she
It's
got.
kind of like,
He sent her money in
okay.
advance.
Let me
was
use an
amazing.
example. Old dog, Paul. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Paul got his own place. He didn't come to the Maggarian movement with Baby May right away.
No, Baby May was way down the road.
Correct. That's my point. He had time with himself.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't thirsty. He had time with himself.
Oh, I'm sure he was thirsty.
He had time with himself. He didn't just scoop up the first Filipina and then, hey, let's make a family. No, that's not what he did, because that's not the proper way. What I'm saying is, again, if think of it this way, is that something you would do in the U.S.?
Correct. Ask yourself. Remember, we used to say, "WW, what would George do, or what would Heidi do?"
Yeah, I mean, if it's something you're not going to do in the U.S., you definitely don't do it here. Especially don't do it here. Like Chosen One says,
What would Chosen One do?
Philippines is advanced. You have to be more advanced. You have to be more streetwise to live here.
Got to think like AI.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not going to do it in the U.S., definitely don't do it here.
And ask yourself, what would Heidi do? Because I'm just going to be sassy, brassy, and tassy, man. Just say, would Heidi do that? The answer is no. There's a lot of things I've been up against in my lifetime, but then again, I start to think, well, what if it's somebody cute like George, and I'd be like, oh, get the place ready, George. I'm gonna send your money, because women, very intelligent women with good jobs and all that in the U.S. are sending, hundreds of thousands of dollars to people and they're sending it for stupid reasons. Like, they're not even acquiring anything to go move and get married. This is where they think they're just getting them out of jail or to buy something. And but just ask yourself. And my question is, I would have to come here and have my own spot.
8,000 miles. Hello, guys.
Good
The George and Heidi
morning.
show. I think of like and I would walk 500
It's
miles.
supposed to be the distance. He's got a YouTube channel.
No, I know that.
But yeah, he's just talking about the distance. When I first seen it, I was thinking of 8 miles from home, and I had to look again. And I was like,
No,
oh,
8,000
okay.
miles is, yeah.
It's about the distance to the U.S. So.
Yeah. Chosen One says, I've never owned a deep freezer. Not really found a need. I don't plan on storing food for for years.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we didn't get a bigger one because the costs are a fraction. But the problem is now we're, not even eating out once a week right now. And so, or ordering any extra stuff. So I've been trying to, if we place orders or go out, then I've been freezing vegetables and berries and different things like that. I've been freezing George's berries. And
yeah,
so I needed something because there's just it's just not the room. So
yeah.
it was a necessity, and it was really inexpensive. It was only like $100. A new refrigerator the same size we had, just to store more cold bottles of water. And kind of like when you have the extra refrigerator out in the garage or in the other part of the house, like some people had in the United States. My dad had the same. Then it would have cost us $400 is where we were figuring another replacement of like what we have here, which is a fraction of the cost that they are in the United States. But I didn't want to, one, it would have been the size of it, which now I'm thinking maybe we should have invested in just putting two of them side by side. But I still think it was
I
worth
did suggest that
$100.
though. Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
right now with immigration coming up, I
No,
didn't
no,
want
no,
to
no.
dump
That's fine. Yeah.
four or
No,
500 US into, because it could be up to 20,000 pesos to replace the
no.
one we have. So it was worth it for the $100, because my guess is I could probably put 4 bags of the fresh, or not the fresh fruit, but the weight of those bags, probably 4 of them in there.
Probably.
Yeah, so it is worth it. So
Yeah. Chosen says deep freezers are so old school. Well, I wouldn't say that. There's a lot of younger generation that have this setup.
and they use these in the sorry
Yeah.
store,
Paul
so they're
says
better. And yeah,
they have 2 freezers and 2 fridge. Now,
yeah.
for those of you who aren't aware of what this is, usually with this setup, 2 fridge and 2 freezers. There's one fridge in the in the kitchen and one fridge in the garage. And the garage fridge is the drink fridge. Two
That's what
freezers.
my dad
That
had.
tells me that Paws is probably either a butcher or a hunter, because a normal family would have two. Well, a well-to-do family in the U.S. would
They
have
probably
two
farm of
fridges,
some sort, like
and
we do
then
here.
yeah, and would have one freezer for regular goods,
Mhm.
and then the second freezer is just meat. And what I'm saying is, yeah, like
And
Heidi
we
says,
froze
you
goat
could add,
meat, we
yeah,
froze goat milk, and when we were making butter and all these different things, yeah, we started freezing everything
yeah,
from the farm. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's why I said
fruits,
two.
vegetables,
Yeah, if you have 2 freezers, then yeah, you either
apples.
have a farm, a butcher, or a hunter. Yeah, but
Yeah.
one freezer is usually, like I said, well-to-do families usually have 2 fridges and one freezer nowadays.
Speaking of which,
Um, Blue
smoothie.
says, "Thank you, George, for bringing up the sign language of Filipinos with their the love language again. And love languages is not just physical affection. They don't even have to touch you.
You're
Love
telling me.
languages is, for example, let's say,
I touched you this morning.
you know how the like a sign of love language that doesn't exist anymore. Okay, is whenever you guys remember the time when that before remotes and your dad sat down, and when the moment your dad sat down, your mom would get up and change the channel for him. That's a love language. You know what I'm saying? Like if he didn't say anything, he just sat there and didn't say a word, and then your mom just got up and changed it to his favorite channel without saying a word either. That's a love language.
Or when
Yeah.
you bring me the panda snow when you were out getting something this
Or
morning.
pan de coco, yeah. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's love language, correct.
Sure.
Yeah, like yeah, I brought Heidi some pan de coco, and
Yeah, you're
sometimes
just doing things all the time.
sometimes I bring her
nicely.
home fried chicken, and,
Like when I make your
that kind of
jello
deal.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's love language, correct.
Yeah.
You don't even have to touch the person.
I used to make George
Yeah.
jello on a daily basis. Like he was so into jello,
That
like
was,
I was.
and that's why I say that's when you used to love me.
Oh, is it? Well,
Anyway,
what you talking about, Willis? You stopped eating it. I had big containers of it here. You did slow down, but it's like me. Me and George go, I especially go through these phases where I switch out like the foods, like we'll purge on
well,
something for a while.
everybody
You
does.
too.
Everybody.
So you slowed down, then I slowed down making it all the time. But I do have macaroni and cheese with junk chicken in it for you for
Yeah.
lunch.
Cool. Hey, Mike Hayden, our Philippine journey. Good morning, all.
Good morning,
Um,
Tona. I bet that Kitty Was Loose is my theme song. I'll get you that song for the next live. It'll probably be on the one that I do through the week, but or we'll save it for when George returns. I bet that kitty was loose. Woo! Sounded like a flapping wind on the
Yeah, there it
loose.
is. Paul says not when you all have a cow. So yeah, they butcher it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jose says, "Hey, all women want money, all of them. I
Yes. Oh,
wouldn't be
yeah.
living
Ain't
in the
nobody.
USA if my father didn't have more than guys that were after my mother in the Dominican Republic." There you go.
I hear you. I mean, we at least want something halfway decent. I mean, we go through all that stage. Like, you think about your first relationship, it was mostly based on love. You weren't, at least back in the 80s, 70s, 90s, or whatever, like in the beginning for me, my first marriage was about love. And, it didn't matter if I just like lived on the streets or was homeless. That's just the way where I was at in my life. And so then after that, you start, so women just kind of,
Chosen one says, "I'm
we
happy.
move.
I see proof of life. I was tempted to fly back to the Philippines." There you go.
Hey, you can get that free hug.
There you go.
I'll let you touch. I'll let you touch all over me. Thank you, Joseph.
Jose
I'll let you
says,
feel up George for free too.
"Hey, Jose, gifted
Oh,
5
thanks.
Philippine Antics memberships."
Yeah, get in there and check out that, guys. You don't want to miss that stuff, and you want to be a part of Philippine Antics because if you guys go through our messenger, those can attest that we actually speak to them. Like sometimes just randomly, I'll open it up and I'm reading through messages, and I'll just message people and just say things to them. So you guys get personal contact if you're a member at any level. And then you have the. I was going to add the photos where I got my bombshell blonde photos getting ready to go up. So it's where we have fun, guys.
Rico
You
Baca
don't want to
says,
miss the membership.
"Staring baby Thornton."
Yeah, man. It's like I don't have my glasses to do it.
Oh my gosh. Staring baby Thornton. You guys ain't right. You just guys.
Look, babe. Do this. Show me your baby Thornton. Show me Thornton.
Huh?
Show me Thornton.
What do you mean? Here, trip.
It could be baby Thornton singing that song. I bet that kitty was loose.
Right?
Ooh, I've
There it
seen
is.
that. Oh,
That kitty was
oh,
loose.
woo.
Right.
Oh, woo. Got any milk for me? Woo.
Hot dog in the hallway.
All right, are we done with these people?
Max says George actually made a great video about communication, love scamming a few years ago.
Yeah, it's still out there. I think you got like 20 something 8,000
Yeah,
views on that
guys,
one.
if
You
you're
need to do another one.
if you think your partner is kind of iffy, watch that video.
You need to do another one. But
Yeah, an
George,
up-to-date one.
yeah, you need to. But like I said, somewhere between is sleeping and late night gaming and work and out horsing around.
But now that I have it, don't be this guy.
Where I'm not disturbing you either. I like you don't disturb me. Kitty was loose. You got any milk for that caboose? I'll be getting guys that song. I might even do it sooner than later. Oh, that fell here.
Yeah, chosen one says Filipinos are not ashamed of their children. It's just money to be made. They don't want to conflict with the other. Correct.
Yeah, they avoid conflict would be the word. That is the most irritating thing for me with George is it could be the simplest things and he'll avoid even the simplest thing just where even if he thinks it's going to be an argument and it's not, like 8 out of 10 times it's simply innocent. He won't answer because he thinks there's going to be something like if I would say, "Do you want pepper on your steak and in your macaroni and cheese or something?" He won't answer. Like George, and it's true. He'll just stare at me and stuff. It's almost like you can almost hear him say, "Is it a trap?" But it would be different if I busted his chops every single time on every single thing, hard 24/7, and I was always fighting up with him. But it's been like that since we've met, and I don't know. I mean, at least a nod or something, babe. Sometimes you just don't answer. Would you like to answer on that? See, that kitty was loose. All right, come on, move on.
Black Grandpa says if your expat was the best place to pick up a girlfriend is where she works because most likely she has no kids if she is single. Well, again, some of them do send their kids to to the province. Some.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
some.
already there with
But they
the
have a
family,
job. They have
and they
at least
come
have a
into the
job.
city is
Yeah.
what's going on. So
Yeah.
a lot of them, their families are already living out there together, and then the families out there watching them, and they send money back home. And some of them live away for quite some time. They just come back at what, Christmas, usually the holidays, and then they're
Yeah.
you have them where they're nurse, where they do not nursing, they do the kesambai, kesambai, kesambai.
Somebody.
Right. So they're housekeepers or nannies or something, and they just come home every now and then.
Yeah. FX Trader says, I just watched a Filipino channel that blames everything on the foreigners, like the children. It's very funny how she doesn't want to accept any responsibility for such foolish behavior.
Curious.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm curious too.
Yeah, who is that, FX? Give Heidi something to work on later this week.
Black Grandpa says, no man alive can tell if a woman has 6 kids, maybe 1 or 2, because of no guy even think any women who would have 6 kids not married. One
6,
or
yeah.
2 is believable, but 6 is extreme.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah.
she was married. That's why she never filed the paper. I was waiting for George to respond on that. Hey, DD214, what is
George
going on?
is clowning today. There you go. Tito George's Travel says six kids at both. That hole should have been bigger than an SUV. There you go.
Bigger than my hole? Whose hole? Hey, hole.
Jose says, Heidi, you're perfect. There you go.
Thanks. Hey, poo-poo-poo.
FX Trader says,
come up here and
George,
say
you
hi?
can publish the code words that in Filipinos mean something else in other countries.
Oh,
There you
look
go.
who's trying to wake up, Dad. Come here. Here, Cookie.
And Jose says,
Babe, are you sure?
what's that?
The Cookie's trying to get behind the refrigerator, too.
There's nothing there. There
Are we
is
sure
a
the
coil. Well,
I'll pull it out unless their other coil got stuck up in there. I think there's 2 coils that they play with, and I think it's in there. She's trying to get it out now.
Oh, well.
Right. Check it out. We represent. Ooh. Oh, look, I just noticed she's wearing red today, too. Look, what's happened to your ear? Look, George, her ear. It's broken.
Oh, the wind.
The wind. It's the wind her ears because of the. Want to say hi? Hmm? Huh? Want to say hi? Say hi, Mary.
Max says you don't need think of dating when you have post-nut clarity.
Where's your hand? Wet?
Not when you're thirsty. Help yourself. Okay, this is somewhat next level. Okay, so there's a saying. Okay, now some of you may or may not have heard of this, especially the ladies may or may not have heard of this. Guys usually talk about this or have this is kind of like one of those words of wisdom that guys tell each other. Before you go on a date, you bust a nut. Reason being is because one, after that, you're not as thirsty, you're not as desperate, and therefore you think with a clear mind. Second, if you do get lucky, since you already busted a nut, you last longer. So it's a win-win-win. No, I'm not making that up. That's actually guys talk about this. Like,
what you talking about? That's what I say all week long when you're not around. What do you think I did? I doubled down with the V. What you talking about, sucker? It's the same with women. We don't want to be thirsty either. You hear me?
Jose one says, Jose, I want membership too. Just kidding. Donald Russell. Hello, George and Heidi from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Hey, what is going on? You like
Jose one says,
outfit?
I don't need membership. I am the membership.
Pretty much one of the original antics.
Tita Marie, shout out Heidi and George watching East Coast, Canada.
Good morning.
Hey, Tita Marie.
And if you guys aren't subscribed, we appreciate you guys subscribing. And if you don't, we'll just go to a Chinese farm and buy 1,000 more. Oh my God. 1,000 more friends. Don't make us go to the farm.
Ed, donation. After 6 babies, women bodies 100% changes.
Mm-hmm.
Breast changes, stomach,
Thank you so
skin,
much.
butt is softer.
I mean, yeah, me. I'm like the Stay Puft
It is.
Marshmallow Woman, and
Way around it. This
here,
guy had no experience, I can tell,
here, babe.
after one baby, unless
I'm gonna let you feel this
they
up.
had
That's all.
babies very young.
That's only two.
Oh
See?
yeah.
Yeah. See?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. How soft is that? Like
Yeah,
butter,
very
right?
soft. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just two of you. Know, it's kind of like it's like a cow when they get tender and stuff, and they give out all that milk all that time, and have calves and all that. They get tender and more tender.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've never been with a woman who's had 6 kids. So I wouldn't know.
Wow. Sorry, George. I want to let you know right now I've got 8.
You
I'm
probably
hiding
did.
the
Yes.
other ones.
No.
I don't know where 4 of them are. Sorry, kids. Look at her tail, babe. Look how thick her tail's getting.
Huh.
What did you say the other part is of her again? What is she?
Pekingese.
Pekingese. That's what she is, guys.
Pekingese.
Here, she wants a kiss.
I
I
Casey.
kissed her.
No,
Yes, she's
I don't
taking the
trust her.
poop pills.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she has.
No. No. She already gave me licks already. George and Heidi
Oh.
showing great patience with deep freezer haters.
Right.
Right. Donald
No,
says
it's worth
we
it.
call that a gate love.
I
There
want
you
to let you guys know another reason we got the deep freezer is because when we go to the market, none of the fruits and vegetables last what, George? Maybe a day. If we get like $20 worth of vegetables to eat for a few days, and like I'm doing the smoothies, they'll go bad really quick. I've tried
No, they will.
everything,
They will.
and understand with my lupus, sometimes by as soon as these lives are over, I've got little to no energy sometimes to get about, and so I tend to do X amount of shopping, either delivered or can only go out like once a week. So it does help, and it'll give me a little bit more room. But at $100, how much do you think that is in the United States to buy one even that size?
Oh, Jiminy Crickets. Are you kidding me?
Them are what, $400?
That's a real compressor.
Yes,
Yeah.
real compressor. That's about 500.
500 is, yeah, my guess.
Yeah. So no, it's way cheaper, and this has a warranty and everything. You'll get things that are a fraction of the cost. Now, I disagreed, like during them times we were talking about the Filipina P that says this wasn't available, and the cost is way cheaper or way more expensive, when not true. Usually it is a fraction of the cost here. That's why we say if you guys are going to move here on a permanent basis,
Wow.
I wouldn't buy things in advance off of Amazon, because the same ones are here already. So we would have saved ourselves probably $2,000 of worth of stuff we
Yeah.
packed up before we left, thinking, but I didn't know what to expect, and so
Not picking on anybody, but remember, be careful when a Filipino says, "Oh, we never had these. These don't exist here."
yeah, no grits here, huh?
I even tell Heidi everything is. I tell it Heidi this when we were in the U.S. Everything is in the Philippines. Question is where to get it. But is it there? Yes, everything's there. In fact,
My Q-tip.
anyway,
My Q-tip.
Christopher Fulton says, "Busted nut advice from George. This is a special day."
Okay, are we wrapping this up?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We appreciate you guys coming in, and thank you to everybody that gave the sticker money and support our channel. It really does mean a bunch.
Thank you so much, Ed from Queen. Chosen one, of course. Thank you so much. Jose gifted Philippine Antics memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Keeps the lights on at headquarters and saving up for immigration.
We'll keep on the light on for you.
Oh, what's wrong, sweetie?
Yeah.
You being a good girl.
Thank you so much, Kay Dallas. Appreciate you. Sarah
Mhm.
Tyson, of course. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Mhm. Help us buy dog clothes for the puppy. She needs, poor baby needs clothes, right, babe, for the air conditioning in the house.
Ted was with us today, wasn't he? Was it? Yeah,
I don't
Ted.
know if Ted was
I think
in there
Ted.
today.
I could have sworn I saw Ted.
I believe he was in there in the beginning, but it could
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
There's a lot going on. When we get
Yeah,
bigger
California
rooms,
Bear. Yeah, Scott was
Sarah,
there
thank
too.
you so much.
Dr. Jones. Scott. Yeah,
Hey,
Scott was there with
Scott.
us
Yeah,
too.
Ted was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, Ted. Yeah, Ted and Scott
Yeah.
were there. Yeah, yeah.
My honey. Hey, Cash. Say Cash. Hey, here's Cash's girlfriend. Hi. Want to say hi to Cash? Huh? I don't know why you do that. You look like your dad. When you
It's
do
her
that.
pride. She's a trained dog. Oh, she's a,
I know she's a good kid.
she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't look
Paul
right.
says beef and chicken half price in Texas than Philippines. Oh, really?
Might believe that. Things are getting expensive. Some things are really going up in cost.
Night, 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 Sarah
compared to
Tyson.
wages.
Night
Thank you,
all. Good night, guys.
guys.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. We love you all. Until next time.
Till next Tuesday or his walkabout videos, or maybe I wake him up. If he joins any of the other lies, it's because he just woke up. So, all right, guys, take care and see you guys in a few days or sooner if expats are out of control and something happens. Who knows? We'll be back
All
on.
right. All right. Bye, guys.
Behave yourself, guys. Till next time, let's talk.